Welcome to today's aftermarket trade recap. Today was the last day of the trading week. It was a very short week this week. We had 4th of July yesterday, and then the day before was a half close as well. For everyone that lives in America, happy 4th of July / happy 4th of July weekend. But yeah, getting into it today. So today we had news come out. 3 pieces of news come out, very big, one of them being NFP. So coming into today knowing that it was the day after bank holiday and we had NFP and that sort of news, I figured today, weren't going to see much. That's something to expect on days like this. We did, actually have a decent move up, but it was very choppy throughout the day. I could only assume the reason for a decent move up is we are near all-time highs and it's not like we're trading in a certain range. So yeah, but getting into it, we left very significant data high, data lows. Those are very big draws on liquidity. So once you can figure out the direction, which direction is figured out as we're at all-time highs, that's a pretty big draw on liquidity. So that's something I was looking for. I did want to see a 2-minute inversion here, but by the time we ended up inversing, it was too late. We ended up taking out the internal high, as well as just by the time I would have entered, it would have been a negative RR trade. Not worth taking, obviously. Then over here, I ended up taking an inversion on demo, wanting to target these lows. I believe stop was above this high and just below this wick. Very close to hitting TP on it, but we ended up creating an SMT here. Where is price on ES? There it is. Ended up creating an SMT here and then getting stopped at break even. Again, that was on demo. And then, yeah, after that, I wasn't really paying attention for much. I just wanted to wait till PM session. So that's where I was looking for next, was 1 PM open. Saw we had left a fair value gap here. Was wanting to see an inverse, but I was wanting to see 1 PM open lower, realistically taking out this low resistance liquidity, then coming up and inversing it, but I didn't get that. Now, normally I most likely would not have taken this first trade, just because once 1 PM opened up, we were very choppy, and that's not something I want to see. I want to see us, have a significant move lower, and then, have a significant move higher and closing above the fair value gap, inversing it. Now, again, I was de-risked, so it wasn't that big of a deal. So once I did finally get the inversion, I did enter longs for 5 micros and immediately got stopped out after that. Now, this is exactly what I wanted to see at 1 PM open, but we ended up getting a little later. Once we did inverse and I got stopped out, being used as liquidity, we ended up taking all this low resistance liquidity out, and then we had left an SMT, which is that then I wanted to see a re-entry. I saw this small 1 minute here, and yeah, I was like, this looks pretty good of a setup for a day like this. And so once we ended up inversing, my fill got a little bit off. It was only 1 tick from where I should have entered. Yeah, so not bad actually. And then yeah, ended up entering, had a little bit of slow momentum move up, but then once we had finally got past my break even point, which was these equal highs that we had left relatively close to where I had entered, we ended up pushing up, and I was targeting these equal highs above. One thing I did want to mention, this was a very decent trade for a day like this. We're targeting equal highs, boom. We also have an internal break-even high, which is nice. Sometimes, we can close above and continue lower, but that is honestly a pretty nice thing to see. We have low resistance liquidity, we have a SMT, and then one thing I need to start doing earlier, which I noticed a little after I entered, is not, longing in a premium and not shorting in a premium, but we actually were in a discount of this 15-minute range in here, so this was actually perfect. And yeah, ended up playing out nicely. Only risked about $87 on this trade in 5 micro terms, I guess you want to say. So, and then to make around 300 after the $100 loss, that left us with $200 profit on each account. So yeah, and then again, an update on my personal account. Funds have been transferred. Funds are now in Tradeovate. I just wanted to wait till after this week to get it set up. Kind of like a little discipline thing, since I was, lacking in some areas, as we've talked about in previous videos. But starting next week is when I will set it up for the live data, as well as configure it to TradingView and start trading on there. But yeah, if I did have my personal account, I don't think I would have taken this on my personal account. Again, everything today was de-risked, so for me on my Top Step accounts, trading micros is a de-risk, and then for my personal account, de-risking is basically not trading, because there's just no point really for me to take anything less than 5 micros. It just doesn't seem worth it to me. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. And then I know, we have a little bit of news coming into next week, but next week should be somewhat tradable. Just besides the fact that we're at all-time highs, so that is, again, so that's a little bit of an issue. But yeah, I would say pretty good week, and that's it for today. So I'll see you guys hopefully sometime next week. See ya.